Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cinema Circle. This is episode 2, the show where we talk and do movie reviews of all your favorite releases coming out of Hollywood. I'm your host for today, Mr. Scenario Shaquille VonJevy, and here chilling with me to my right is the Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds ass lover herself, Kiki SB. How are you?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. And sitting here to my left is Zander Francis. What's up, boy?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. Y'all freshly just watched Deadpool? Yeah.
That's it.
Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. This is our movie review for that. So we're going to run down our topics. It's the good, the bad, and the verdict. So let's start off with the good, Zander.
This film knew what it was. It knew what it wanted to do.
Yes, it did.
And because it's comfortable with its identity, it just gave the audience what it wanted. Sounds like a simple thing. Many films today have failed. Many, especially recent ones. It gave us what it wanted. Beautiful, tons of action, brutal violence, graphic nudity, and sexuality. I mean, everything a growing boy needs. That's the title of the review, of my review, okay? Next, the pacing, the editing of the film greatly benefited this film.
Yeah,
it just kept you in motion. It kept you guessing. You know what I mean? It's exactly why I love guys like Jim Cameron. Quentin Tarantino. Time displacement a la Quentin Tarantino. You guys, I wanted to share this with you guys a lot, and you guys out there. You guys know I'm an action junkie.
Yep.
There are references to RoboCop, T2,
Oh, I didn't even...
Dirty Harry,
I did not...
Cobra, the match in the mouth for Angel Dust.
Mm.
And he's like, "Oh, you're a Stallone fan, eh?"
Mm.
I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
I didn't even
Like,
take that in.
And it had Blade 2, Alien 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're Alien 3 from Ripley.
Yeah, I got that.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I get my adrenaline runs not only from the action but from that.
Yeah.
The respect it has for what's
For
come
other-
before it.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then the last thing that just brings it all together. He's the heart, he's the core, and the whole movie works because of him, Ryan Reynolds. He is born to play this role.
Yes,
Just as Arnold Schwarzenegger was born to play the Terminator, just as Robert Downey Jr. was born to play Tony Stark.
Yep.
So,
100%.
fantastic. I'm by it 100%.
Top thing on my list was Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds was fantastic. I agree with you. He was born to play this. Just like how Hugh Jackman was born to play Wolverine. He was born to play this role. I don't think anybody else could have done this better. It's as if he wrote the movie
He said he waited
himself.
11 years to play this role, so you know he wanted it.
Exactly. So and it shows.
Years.
It's beautiful to see.
It's super funny. Super funny from start to finish. From when the credits
You were
start
worried
going.
about that.
I
so-
was worried. I was worried about that. I am not like I like
wasn't.
comedy. I like laughing. But I don't like stupid comedy. And with this, it wasn't that it wasn't stupid comedy. It was very aware of itself, and I think it was the most comic booky movie that we've seen. Like I think it was he knew he was in a comic book movie, right? By talking to us and whatever.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was.
And I think it was like probably the most true adaptation that I've seen from a character. Like I didn't have to worry and be like, oh well, they didn't do that with him. And, oh, they didn't do that with him.
Very
they kept
true.
It really
very true to the
like,
source material.
I think it's something
yes.
that we haven't seen before, and that's another thing that kept it so real. You know,
Yeah.
it made it really good. You know,
This guy, he stayed bad till the end. He wasn't, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it was just like I don't want to give anything away, but he stayed bad till the end. So those are my
Yeah, there was no honor or, you know,
there was
like,
no fighting for
sympathy.
a better cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fighting for himself. Like
was
this is
fighting
what
for
I want.
himself.
This
Yeah.
is what I'm
Very
gonna do.
selfish.
I don't
for
care.
for
And
his
it worked.
woman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's not take anything away from the other characters that were in there.
Yeah.
Colossus was amazing. He looked great.
Yep.
He was perfect in
I
my
agree.
opinion. The chemistry between the two characters were great. And Negasonic, a character that I had I didn't know anything about her.
I'm the same.
I was like,
Yeah.
who is this? Why are they putting her in there? Like, this is stupid. Like, I was just like, whatever.
A moody
right?
teen.
You weren't.
Yeah,
You weren't
I
feeling
wasn't.
it. You
I
weren't
wasn't.
feeling
I
it.
wasn't really feeling her. But then, when she opened her mouth for the first time, I was like, yo, this character, I would like her. I would like to see her in future X-Men movies because she has that badass attitude. And
So for me, the good was the action. I like the comedy, even though it was like corny jokes or whatever. I like that, and I also like the pacing. I liked how it was all over the place, but still very organized, and they gave you a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? All at one time. So for me, I like that, and of course Ryan Reynolds, he was born for the part, so that I agree with 100%. I don't think anyone else could have done this role like he did. He played this role like he was passionate about it. He wanted it, and he brought it.
This movie for Fox was like their version of a Marvel movie because they haven't done, when it comes to the X-Men universe, they haven't done a movie like this one, like where it's all jokey, all comedy. Marvel's more on that jokey tip, whereas they did a better job at this.
It's a totally different
Marvel
style.
It's a completely different style.
They have their own niche here.
Yeah, I thought it was funnier than any other Marvel movie that we've had.
Yeah, but was there comedy in other Marvel movies? Like
there's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay, yeah. But
you
know
that what I mean? And I thought that
you
was
can't have
funny.
one without it.
I know.
What do we think were the negatives, things you didn't like about this movie?
I think the action scenes would have benefited from a more simpler approach. I wanted him to go all raw deal on everybody at the end. That was the only time I think I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But obviously the ending was amazing.
I think they did that
right?
because they wanted to display his powers. And I
the
think
swords,
it was such a,
obviously, right, to focus more on the swords, because the first one was a gun battle.
Exactly.
The first action piece, I understand. This is why this is being nitpicky.
It was
right?
It was a good use of power,
so,
this movie.
It was.
Good use of his powers.
But
my bad is this, the villains. They weren't good. No, I like their power. Their powers were good, right? Like the girl, Angel Dust, she was cool, right? She was cool. The Francis, he was cool, whatever. But who are they? Where did they come from?
Faceless, really.
Right?
They didn't matter in the story. Like,
and that's the thing. It was so Deadpool focused, which is why I love Deadpool. Like it's so Deadpool.
It's very.
They didn't take the time to build.
It's very
the
driven by Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. They didn't build the villains. What organization was it that was trying to give him new? You know, his. Apparently, as far as I know, as far as I'm like, as they've been letting us believe this whole like for how many years now with the X-Men is that their powers manifest during puberty, right? So his is laying dormant, and they're trying to release it. Okay. So this could be something new, whatever, but they didn't explain any of that.
It's like, here it is.
They skimmed over it. They did skim over it.
They didn't name the organization, and I don't like that. Was it Weapon X? It's bad. I didn't really.
And that's also part of the bad for me as well, is that they didn't really go too deep into the villain development, you know, into those characters. It's like, well, who's that? You know, like, what are his powers? Like, you just have to wait and see. And it's kind of like, okay, you're not really invested into their story. You know what I mean? Like, why are they doing that? Usually villains have, like, a motive behind whatever they're doing, right?
Correct.
But they didn't have it. They didn't have that that development. But overall, the bad for me was his origin story. It wasn't... I don't like it. It's weak.
Those details, just when I'm having this much of a good time.
Yeah.
But that's how they got you.
I don't give a damn.
That's how they got you.
But that's how a lot of my... almost all of my favorite films are. Yeah. Like, if the details are there, I love it.
That's why you're an action guy.
If the details are there, I love it.
Also, another thing that I didn't really like about this movie was the other characters. As much as I did like Vanessa, and I did like his brethren in the bar, I forget his name, the TJ Miller character. But any one of those characters could have died, and I wouldn't have cared. There was no depth to the story. It was just too surface.
It was Deadpool.
It was Deadpool focused, and
the whole way through, you know.
And
but as the fan, we don't mind.
What I loved about this was that they made you aware that yes, this is an X-Men movie. Because I thought that Colossus was just gonna be like a little cameo, but he was in the movie. Like this is his dude in the movie, right? What I didn't like was there was no clear indication as to what timeline that this is in. I have no idea what
Deadpool made fun of it.
And I like that. Yeah.
I don't mind.
So
where are we?
I don't need to know. I don't need to know.
Did you catch the joke, Kiki, where he's just like, "Come, let us go to the professor," and after then he's just like, "Which one, McAvoy or Stewart?" And I was just like, you know what?
I love that. Though. I was like that.
Deadpool, like you, my boy.
It was brilliant.
I'm like, even though I don't like it. But you my boy for that. I like that. I like that.
I like that too.
I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
that for
no,
sure.
he used to stop shitting on my... Like, I love all the action references. Oh, he used to stop shitting on my lawn. And I know that the professor's bald. Because he did say that, right? So, but anyways,
you know which one I liked?
It could still be.
I liked.
Well, there's a lot of modern references in it, so I think it's in the future.
The movie was so good.
I like that this is a big house, and yet we can't afford.
That was my favorite line. He's like, it's like the studio
we can't afford another X-Men. Oh my god!
Oh man, I was dying. Oh lord.
All right, let's get into our verdict. Let's talk about our opinion and our verdict before we give it our ratings. So you want to just a general opinion on what you think?
General opinion? Yeah. I loved it. I'm gonna go watch it again.
We were wondering where Deadpool fits in with the X-Men universe, right? I think how they're gonna do it is not necessarily him in the X-Men universe, but I think they're gonna put more X-Men in his movies, and I think it works like that.
That's the only way it will work. You cannot put Deadpool in an X-Men movie
because the X-Men movies are so serious and hard and in tone.
The tone is very grim and dark. Well, now.
Yeah.
You know
and as much as I
it's
like...
It's getting darker. For the X-Men movies, the tone is getting darker.
It's getting darker. Because of Ryan Reynolds' popularity in this role, I can see them trying to make him a different type of Wolverine for the franchise. That's just my opinion. I
don't know if they can.
He's not.
Because they like to milk. They like to milk
I agree,
everything. They do.
I'm like 50-50 because I don't know if they can. Will people accept Deadpool not swearing left, right, and center?
I don't think he'll be a driving force, but I think he'll be, because they're gonna. I mean, if Jennifer Lawrence doesn't come back, and if Hugh Jackman doesn't come back, they're gonna be forced to look. They're either gonna have to build a next one, or they're gonna use one that everyone already loves.
And it won't mix well with the rest of the X-Men combination. It won't work. I don't think so.
What about you? What do you think? What are your general opinions?
Maximum effort. That's what I think. Just, I'm by this film 100%. The entertainment value is just too high for me to be concerned with the bad. So I just loved it.
I just hope that you're not being...
Hashtag I hope everything a growing boy needs. That's what I think.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Nice rating.
Why? Just because... It's something fresh. I've never seen this type of comic book, so comic booky, but it worked. It was perfect. I loved it. And Ryan Reynolds.
Nice.
But it was very fun. It was very character driven, which I like. The bar is definitely set for the rest of the year when it comes to these comic book movies, right? The bar is so Batman vs Superman.
Oh man,
you better watch out because this one was huge. But okay, I'm gonna have to give it. I'm sorry, guys, and I know there's people who are whatever, but I'm gonna have to give it.
Don't you dare say 6.
No. It's definitely not a 6.
Oh, okay.
But this is a good rating. It's a good rating.
Woo!
I have to give this movie a 7.8. It didn't draw me in emotionally, and that's what I have to say about it. Action though was 100. Action was 100. Comedy was 100. But story lacked for me, and that's huge for me. You can't just come and blow shit up and then expect me to like this.
8.5.
You guys are together.
End of story.
That's our ratings. But it doesn't matter what we think. It all matters about what you think. So before we end this show, we're going to take it to the streets and let you know what other people who just watched the movie thought about this.
I give it a 7. Funny. Ryan Reynolds ass.
People got that strong all movie long. It's a strong 7.
Well-deserved 8.
It's not often I leave the movie theater wanting to go right back in, but this was one of those times.
Recommended. 2 thumbs up.
Nothing less than
It's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Most definitely.
It's fun and entertaining. If you can get in, you should see it.
He's way more ratchet, way more try. Ton up.
Alright, so that will do it for this episode of Cinema Circle. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share to this channel. And you can find me and the rest of us at the Cinema Circle Instagram at cinema_circle.
If you guys have any questions or want to know anything about Cinema Circle, you can email us at cinemacircle1@gmail.com.
Alright, so till next time, stay blessed, and remember, always keep it 100.
And make sure you go watch Deadpool.
Make sure you watch Deadpool, and it's definitely in my top 10 favorite movies of comic book movies.
Bye!
Boom!
My fellow Cineplexians, we would be honored if you would join us, so become part of the circle. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.